What up, folks? This is going to be the very first episode pilot of A&M Podcast Story Highlights.
Hi. So my name is Abigail. I'll be taking you down these little adventures we're going to go through.
Wormholes.
Okay, wormholes that we're going to go through. I'm going to do everything from serial killers like Jack the Ripper to BTK to America's first and most studied serial killer here, H.H. Holmes. Adventures gone right or wrong. So like Nutty Putty Cave. So if you guys are from Utah, you might know Nutty Putty Cave. Historical people, MLK, Benedict Arnold, which I think is a fun one. And then we'll also talk a couple of big things about saints. We're gonna talk about some new ideas and concepts like Silk Road on the dark web. That's gonna be a really fun one.
Dum dum dum.
And then we're also going to talk about red pilling and what red pilling is and the whole entire idea behind red pilling because it's a really, really popular uh, thing on the internet right now.
Get your Matrix hats on.
And then we're going to talk about Disney, of course. Those are going to be
Woo!
Michelle Run episodes. She's going to give her
Yes.
Disney facts. We're also going to do hauntings. So anytime just specifically around October, we might get into some hauntings. We are not going to get political on this podcast. I know some of the things like red pilling is considered to be political, but I just want to talk about the idea behind red pilling because it's a really interesting idea and a really interesting thing that is happening on the internet right now.
Yep. Pretty much. And you'll get natural reactions from myself because
Yeah, because I'm not going to tell her. I can't tell her. She won't let me
yeah,
tell
she's
her.
not allowed to tell me anything that is going on and what is going to be said because if you want a natural reaction, you can't give me a heads up.
Yeah,
Can't give me a heads up about anything because then if you do, I'm going to know about it. I'll know what's coming and you won't get a natural reaction from it. So this is our very first podcast. So we're trying this out to see how it will go. It will still be based off of the J&M's Adventures page or channel on YouTube. So we will be hosting right now. It's going to be a 30-minute increment session. So this is the first episode, the pilot, just introducing ourselves, what we're going to go over, what we're going to talk about, or what she's going to talk about. I'm just going to sit here and look nice. And then we will go into 45-minute uh, sessions or episodes, whatever you want to call it. And with each episode, it'll be a new topic, or it might even be a two-parter. Who knows? Depending on who she's talking about. Like she just said, Jack the Ripper. That one could take a little while, depending on the research that she does for that. So we'll have to make sure that we will, part one, part two, part three. We'll definitely cut it into parts if it's going to be something more than a few episodes.
yeah. Like H.H. Holmes, I know definitely. I haven't even done research on H.H. Holmes, but from what I understand and the little bit that I've read on him, that is definitely going to be longer than a two-part series. That might actually be a three-part series because he has a really interesting background, both before he was a serial killer and then also while he was a serial killer. Also, how he got caught was really
You want to go sit
interesting.
on the couch?
Yeah, we're gonna actually go sit in the couch.
We're gonna take you with us. Come for the ride.
Whee!
Let's pray my phone doesn't die while we're doing this. Oh, I grew shorter. We good?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, comfort level. This is nice. We might put something back here too, just to kind of,
Make it more seasonal.
make it more whatever. Just whatever we put up there.
We are going to go over some difficult topics. Of course, serial killers, you have murder, gore. We are going to talk about if there is something that's pretty terrible in the things we're going to talk about, there is going to be a little bit of a
Disclosure.
disclosure and a little warning, especially so you aren't listening it to out loud in the workplace because really would hate for that to happen. Anything else?
Not that I can think of. I do know next Monday is St. Patty's Day.
So I can give you a heads up. Our podcast is going to be on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
There is, and it's not going to be on the holiday. It's going to be on the person it's based off of because there's a lot of interesting fun facts about St. Patrick's that not a lot of people know, and those that know,
They know.
they know. Actually, it changes a lot of people's perception on St. Patrick. Also changes a lot of people's perception on the Catholic Church.
Ah,
Uh,
leave that alone.
please let's not break the camera.
There we go.
But yeah, St.
That's
Patrick,
interesting.
some of the stories that actually are based on St. Patrick have
Hmm.
changed the point of view on people on the Catholic Church
A
because of
little
some of the
crooked.
things.
Well, we're a little crooked. Yeah, we've got a few things up in the house right now that are St. Patty's Day. Because obviously, oh yeah, hey, I'm Michelle, by the way, because I totally forgot to say that at the beginning of this. So let's do that. You all know me from J&M's Adventures, the other half of John and Michelle's Adventures, pretty much. Yes, like I said, on YouTube. Um, Back to what I was saying before I got sidetracked. We got some little gnomes over on our entertainment center area right there. So I do celebrate St. Patty's Day because I am Scottish and Irish. So that really one of the holidays that I will definitely go out all out for. So stay tuned next Monday to see what my outfit's going to be like because it's going to be great. It's going to be fan freaking tastic. But other than that, I mean, I've been doing YouTube since 2013. I really kind of started off slow with it. Wasn't really getting into it, and then it just took off. I don't know when it started taking off because I really can't remember that far back. But I was posting it on Facebook, and then my brother stepped in and he helped get me up. I got up to 84 subscribers when we went to Disneyland after COVID, which we will not get into that subject. He helped me get followers, set 84. Now we're up to 176. So been doing pretty good. So you know what? Wanted to do a twist. She likes to talk a
I,
lot,
I I like to do a lot of research and find out new and fun, interesting things that are really fun and interesting to me. May not be fun and interesting to you.
but you know we're gonna try and do this right now. I don't know if it'll let us do a live. I think it will, so we might have to just test drive a live one of these times. There will be times that we will not do a podcast. There
Yeah.
might be a week that we take off because I normally do it on the YouTube channel where I don't do a live. I'll post or I'll do a quick little video, say, hey guys, just wanted to jump in here. Say hi, we're not doing a live for tomorrow, on a Sunday, which is normally when my lives are. These will possibly be every Monday. They may be recorded, they may be live. So, do one thing for us, please hit the like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to know when we are possibly going to be going live or we upload content. Um, like she's made it very clear, we are not political. I don't do politics. We are not going to do politics.
Yeah, we're not going to do politics, but some of the things that are going to be discussed are actually going to they're heavily based in politics, but I don't want to look at the political aspect of it. I want to
Mm.
specifically look at what it is and
Kind of the history of it, just to see, and we might do history things. I do have different little posters that will be changing out on here too. So whenever we do post it, right now you'll see the one that's going to be on there. Then, like when we start doing for
mhm,
October, I've got like
our
a
little
few.
hauntings.
Yes, I've got a few that are like horror ones. Um, I can already give you a heads up. Edgar Allan Poe is definitely going to be October because we got to talk about him. There's stuff that's not right, but that's in October, so we're not going to jump that far ahead because we got to plan all this stuff out at the same time.
Edgar Allan Poe is one of those that's it's still a mystery about what exactly happened, but we're going to get into that.
He's morbid and I like it.
Very
He's
morbid.
he's a very good. I found him as I don't know. His stuff is very morbid, but it's something that I could sit there and read, and it don't affect me or get into me. Maybe we can get into some Shakespeare. Who
Yeah,
knows?
we'll look into that. We might do like I might do a really heavy case. And then we'll go into like a super lighthearted one simply for my psyche when doing this research because some of this stuff
She
can
might
get
need
real
therapy
dark.
afterwards.
I
We'll
already
see.
need therapy. Um,
I mean, we all do, but there's not the right kind of help. What's going on?
yeah. So actually, I wanted to talk about a little topic today. So those of you who grew up Catholic or even Christian might know that this past Wednesday was Ash Wednesday. I want to
Was it?
talk about
I
the
didn't know that.
yeah. Didn't you see people walking around with little black crosses on their forehead or black smudges more commonly?
I don't look at their forehead. I don't pay attention.
Yeah, so actually it was Ash Wednesday. So like one of our coworkers, she had a little smudge on her forehead cuz priests and all the others who do the crosses, after you get to a certain point, it's just smudge, little dot. Sometimes it
Slap.
doesn't even look like a cross. But it was
Looks like you're marked.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're gonna discuss actually the day before Ash Wednesday, and that is Fat Tuesday. Um, or as it's otherwise known as Mardi Gras, aka the Carnival, aka Shrove Tuesday. So it has a lot of different names for it.
Get out your beads.
Exactly. So actually, fun fact about Mardi Gras is that it was a whole season. So after January 6th, which was the Epiphany of Christ, from all the way up until the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday, it was considered a time to splurge and be indulgent. It was a whole entire burst of excitement before you started your fast, because back in the day, Lent was harsh. You could not eat meat for the whole 40 days.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah. You can't eat it for the whole 40 days. You had to fast every single day, so you could only eat one big meal and two small meals every day.
So what? If you can't eat meat, what does it consist of? If you're not allowed to eat meat, like what meat can you not eat?
So technically, the only meat you could eat during that time was fish, and even now, after Vatican II, it changed that every day you couldn't eat meat to just Fridays you couldn't eat meat, because Friday was the crucifixion.
Okay.
So Fridays you could so basically you could eat fish, but it was eat vegetables. It was eating grain and stuff like that, eating cheese.
Okay.
Um so basically this was the time of like, I'm going to go all out and eat all I can, cuz for the next 40 days I'm not going to be able to eat anything.
You're gonna have to roll out of bed after
Exactly.
eating so much.
And hence the name Fat Tuesday. You overindulge on Tuesday because it's the last day
I don't think I could do
to
that. I'd get sick.
overindulge.
I would get
Commonly
sick.
now it's the day you eat. So now Lent, you give something up. So you give up candy, or you give up caffeine or something like that. And the
That ain't happening for you.
it can never happen for me. I've tried it, doesn't work. Um, but you give it up, and then on that Tuesday you overindulge in it so that you no longer want to consume it.
Okay.
Um,
Work count.
Work sadly does not count because you need to bring home a paycheck.
So you overindulge at work.
So as a fun fact, it is actually um
Sorry. That was good.
so as a fun fact, it has actually been stated to be actually rooted in pagan traditions that celebrate the beginning of spring. So you'll often see pagan holidays fall around Fat Tuesday, and the days around Fat Tuesday to celebrate the beginning of spring, simply because they're kind of interlinked together.
Which I believe spring. Sorry, I need a nap. Is what date's that over on the calendar?
I don't. You
You
didn't. But
can't see either. I got
I.
that.
There's nothing that says spring begins. It just says St. Patrick's Day.
Well, no, I know. I don't know when it starts. I know it starts the week of St. Patty's Day. It's either like the
Ah.
20th or 21st. When spring actually starts.
So of course there's that little give and take, but it's often rooted in pagan tradition. So that's a fun little fact. It was originally called, now pardon my French, boeuf gras, meaning fatted calf. It was originally a French and Italian festival that was brought to the colonies in 1699 to specifically Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, nice.
So Mobile, Alabama was actually the first place to actually celebrate Mardi Gras. It was where it became popular. But today, New Orleans is where we most celebrate Mardi Gras, where it's well known for celebrating Mardi Gras.
I've never done Mardi Gras. Would love to go.
It is fun. So one fun tradition on Tuesday, specifically for those who celebrate Shrove Tuesday, is you eat pancakes on Tuesday morning. You have to wake up early on Tuesday and make pancakes. That's a fun way of celebrating. You don't like pancakes?
I used to eat those a lot as a kid. No.
So also the church. So to get the ashes that they use on Ash Wednesday, they specifically take all of the palms from Palm Sunday of the previous year, and they burn them on Tuesday. So they have all the ashes on Wednesday.
So where did Okay, I was about to ask that. Where did they get the ash for Ash Wednesday?
They burned the palms from Palm Sunday the previous year
And they
because in
they
the
save them the whole time.
basically when you go in, like, I don't know how many of you have gone into a Catholic home and seen these like dried piece little crosses that have been made by hand that are over like religious things. I know in my house there was a bunch of them. Every Sunday, every Palm Sunday, the church will get a bunch of palms. You'll wave the palms around like you're supposed to in the beginning. You keep the palms. And then on Tuesday, most churches do a collection where they collect the palms from people.
Okay.
Or if they have an overabundance of palms, they'll also keep the palms from an overabundance.
Okay.
And they'll burn them on Tuesday so that they have those ashes on Wednesday. Because usually the first mass is on Ash Wednesday, begin at 5 a.m. for those who want to go to mass before they go to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's also
Very insightful. 'Cause I did not know any of that.
yeah.
Because I don't pay attention.
So Fat Tuesday is also celebrated by consuming rich and fatty foods. Another reason
Taco
for
Bell.
reason why it's called Fat Tuesday is because you're supposed to eat fatty foods and really rich foods. I didn't do any research on the beads and why we throw the beads. I
Well,
think
they have to go
there's
nearby because they ain't bad foods for most people.
the beads. I don't know when that began, but I do know that it is a common tradition to throw beads.
Well, maybe in
I
the next one we can, while you're doing, when we do St. Patty's Day, maybe look up the beads and kind of
yeah,
throw the in at the beginning, and then we'll
just yeah,
attempt to flow right into
to St.
St.
Patrick's.
Patrick's. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
We,
but I do know that the way to get beads has changed because I know before to get beads you had to flash them and then you got the beads. That has changed now. They actually do not want you to do that anymore because there are children present. So please, if you're going to New Orleans in the
no
future for
flashing people.
Mardi Gras, please do not do that. There are children present.
Then
You will
why
get
are
fined.
those? They're pancakes, honey, with the blueberry on top. A little bit of syrup. Oh, it's just gonna be great.
So please don't do that. You will get fined. They have started to fine people for this.
And make you pay for the child's therapy at the same time.
They
Who knows?
probably will. You never know. But yeah, that's a little bit on Fat Tuesday, uh, Ash Wednesday, a little bit of everything. Palm Sunday, the fasting rituals for um
How many days are you supposed
Lent.
to fast?
40. So fun fact, if you
Okay.
look at the calendar and you count the calendars, there are actually 46 days in the Lenten season. And that's because you're not supposed to count Sundays.
Oh.
Sundays is supposed to day you're supposed to break fast.
Oh, okay.
So you can eat
Good to
whatever
know.
you want, you can do whatever you gave up, and then you go back on Monday doing the fast.
Oh, okay. See, a lot of things I didn't know. Again, I don't pay attention.
Yeah. I was raised Catholic. This was ingrained in me.
Not me. Even though
So if you catch your coworkers eating fish on Fridays, just know
you'll know
it's
why.
it's most likely because
Well, I had a coworker that he is, from another country. He can't eat pork.
is it because he's Jewish or is it because he's Islamic, Muslim?
I don't know. I know I went to order pizza, and he said he can't have pork.
Those two religions both pigs are unclean to them, so they don't really eat either of those.
Okay. Because I don't know where he's from at.
Yeah, you can't eat both of those. Also, to those of you who are Muslim and practice Ramadan, hello, happy Ramadan. Have a great um
Ramadan?
Ramadan and enjoy your little. I think it's suhoor, where you get to eat at the end of the day. I hope you have a great one, or if that's in your morning, I don't remember. I am sorry.
No, if they can't eat all day and they have to eat at the end of the day, can they eat as much as they want, or do they have to eat all
They
day?
do eat an overabundance. They do eat a little bit more in the evening. They can eat breakfast. So hence why if those of you who are on Ramadan cat TikTok, you've seen all of the cats getting up with their owners and are very confused as to why their owners are getting up at 4:30 in the morning.
That's why your cats are getting up at 4:30 in the morning. If you adopt an animal that is from a family that does that, just be forewarned.
Because they wake up so that they get treats. Most Muslim families give their cats treats during their breakfast time and then they feed them on normal. They don't make the cats fast. They feed them like normal.
And I don't get up at 4, so our cats are safe. I only get up at 6, and that's to go on vacation. You ain't getting me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. That ain't happening.
But yeah, so
So
those
I'll
of
take
you,
that back unless we're going to visit family. Then I have to get up.
if I ever have to wake up at 3, please, please just don't let me sleep. Yeah,
Of
I can't.
coffee and donuts.
Mainly caffeine. I only
We're
need like
gonna
4
need it.
energy drinks to get through the day.
Or
I used to drink 4 or 5 a day. I used to drink one at 5 o'clock in the
and this
morning,
is why she can't stop talking because it's catching up with her now.
4 o'clock in the morning. I would drink one at 5 o'clock in the morning. Then I would drink one at 9 o'clock. Then I would drink one at 12 or 1 o'clock. And then I would drink one at 3 or 4. And if it was a really long day, I might splurge and get one at like 5 o'clock. I'm sorry. I was managing a team that was so busy.
At least they made it look like it was.
Sometimes they tried, sometimes they failed. I love them. I still do. But sometimes they failed at looking busy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Love you guys.
Party heart that looks like a freaking horn. I corrected myself, so don't judge me. You
I,
people
I,
judge
I
me.
think we realize who's going to have the swearing problem
Yes,
on
it's
this
gonna be me.
podcast.
It's gonna be horrible. I apologize now. Just I will put up if I can figure out how to do it. Profanity beware.
Uh,
That's why I have
PG
to.
13.
That's why I have to do it. It's not made for kids.
Yes, definitely. Please do not let your kids watch us. You never know what the next episode is going to be. Because unlike this episode where we told you it was going to be about St. Patrick, you don't actually know if that story about St. Patrick is going to be all that wholesome.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you it will not be all that wholesome.
I believe her. Because again, I don't even know what it's about, and I'm afraid.
You should be.
But come back. I mean, come back anyways, because you never know. We may have some very good, interesting ones. Wait until we do one for what do we say, Krampus?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do
Excited about
Krampus
that
near
one.
Christmas. Yeah. I'm going to do a research on Krampus and tell you all about him. I
That's
might
gonna
do
be
some
fun.
research on some other
Mythological
creatures. Mothman. Mothman is
Godzilla.
Godzilla. Yes.
I like Godzilla. My favorite.
Mothman.
You know what? Because Halloween, we're gonna throw this out there too. I cannot stand this man. I have never been able to watch him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear his voice. We might do a backstory on Kruger,
We could.
as long as I don't have to
I
see his
don't want
face.
to, though.
As long as we don't have to see his face and hear him talk, I'm okay.
I will tell you this: when it comes to supernatural horror films, I don't do them. And Freddy Krueger classifies as that, even though he's also a slasher.
Was it what? What did you say?
He counts as a
Well,
slasher.
no, before that.
Supernatural
Oh,
horror films, I don't do them.
see,
I ain't
I
going
could
to do
do
research on Freddy Krueger.
Kruger.
I ain't doing research on him. I'm already
Well,
stuttering over my words. I'm so scared.
because they say it might be true, so we don't know. I will look into it. I also have to look at his face. I'm all right,
Yeah.
and I'll do that one.
And
I will do the research on that ugly man.
yeah, and I promise we'll do some ones on the Salem witch trials too, because that's real fun. We'll also do one on a lesser known case on Half Hanged Mary.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that sounds intriguing.
it was a terrible case. I will tell you that. It makes you doubt humanity.
I doubt it now. So I mean, it's not gonna make a
you
difference.
you will really be like, really, really, you're doing this? Because I will tell you, Mary, when she went through this, was 78 years old.
Poor woman.
And this was a couple years before the Salem witch trials. So her reaching 78 was already a miracle. Um, but what they put her through.
Okay, I'm gonna keep my thoughts and opinions until we get to that one.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about that one because that one's real interesting.
You might see, might for those who do follow J.A.M.'s adventures on YouTube, you might see cats running around, like laying on the back of the couch or walking up and down back of the couch, or hear us yelling at them to stop scratching on the back of the couch.
And you might hear me say, Hermione, please sit down, because she gets anxious when things are going on. But right now she's dead asleep.
Yep. So she's taking it easy because why? We're sitting here on the couch. We're close to her.
She's
That
not
way
gonna freak out.
she's not going to freak out as much. So you might get used to seeing this setting because this is probably going to be our setting uh, from here on out because I don't feel like standing and she can't.
Nope, I
Cause,
cannot.
yep.
Bad knees.
So, and I'm getting to that point where I creak when I move and I pop when I move. So, hi Willow, you come say hi. Come on, just
So
walk under the table. Come on.
So yeah, we're gonna discuss a whole bunch of things. If you guys have something you want us to talk about, put it in the comment section.
I love it.
Please, especially like I said, Nutty Putty Cave. If you're from Utah, you've probably heard about Nutty Putty Cave and you've heard about what's happened there. But if you guys are from different states or you came from a different state and you know a couple of like hauntings or
No,
things that have happened,
stop.
people you know that you would like to do some more research on. Like I know Michelle has talked about wanting to do research on the BTK killer.
Yep.
Uh, I will definitely do research on the BTK because that one's really interesting. Because also he may have been a notorious serial killer, but he was also really stupid.
Or even now on this case, I actually have heard about this case, so I've heard stories about this, and I haven't even done my own research about it, but I have heard certain things, but she might dig up other things that I do not know about.
Yes.
So it's one of those that we'll see what happens. I have heard about that.
And I will also give you warning. So, like, if you want to do your own research, there's a couple of cases. I've listened to my own podcasts. Morbid being one of them. Shout out to Morbid. I love the podcast.
We'll put their
Um,
if we can figure out how to do their thing in the bottom of our description. We'll definitely put them down there so you can
yeah,
check them out too.
they've discussed about cases that they've done, and when they're doing research, they've found photos that have been leaked onto the internet. So there's like crime scene photos, photos of the victims. So just a heads up, if you're gonna do any research on anything we're talking about, or if I'm doing research and I stumble across them, I will let you know to be very careful when doing any extra research if you want. Simply because sadly that's something that is
You're,
happening now.
you're gonna see videos. You're gonna see things that you don't want to see.
Exactly.
They posted, and again, when I was going to college at where we live out here in Arizona, um, it was I think my English class, literature class, whatever it was. We were doing, um, I know I had to do a 10-page paper, so I did one on Edgar Allan Poe, and then I did one on Sandy Hook shooting, and then there was one that we had to do, and Black Dahlia came up, and there's actually photos of that. I mean, you can't see anything, but there were photos that you would come across on Black Dahlia too.
Yeah, and there's some photos like I've heard of photos of one case I might cover is the Glamour Girls, where there's a couple of photos that the killer took that they're not necessarily gruesome and like super like bloody or anything, but they are very disturbing to see. Simply because when you're looking at them, you realize that you're looking at it through the eyes of the killer, which is kind of disturbing. Oh no, did our walkie did our
You may have to charge us. I mean, they'll probably still hear us.
yeah. But yeah.
Just listen.
But we're gonna talk about that. I will give you a heads up specifically if it comes to